Sitting on the park bench, eyeing little girls with bad intent. Hey, act for love, drying in the cold sun, watching as the pretty pageant.
WWF Wrestlemania was the first wrestling game on the NES that was licensed by the WWF. It featured 6 of the most popular wrestlers of the time, 1988 to be exact. These characters include the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, Bam Bam Bigelow, the Honky Tonk Man, Macho Man Randy Savage, Andre the Giant, and Hulk Hogan. In exhibition mode, or standard as it's called, you'll have a one-on-one match with any 2 wrestlers you want, 1 or 2 players with no time limit. In tournament mode, you can pick how many human players you want to control while the rest of them are controlled by the computer, if any, making up a 6-man tournament. All 6 wrestlers will face each other in a round-robin format with a 3-minute time limit on each match. Whoever has the best win-loss record at the end of the tournament wins the whole thing, and in the event of a tie, whoever had the quickest victory throughout the tournament wins. So now that the game modes have been explained, let's see how the game itself plays out. Visually, it isn't too bad. All the wrestlers are pretty recognizable and the animation is decent, but then it all goes downhill from there. First off, there isn't exactly a wide variety of moves. There are strikes, a body slam, and a move off the top rope. There's also a running attack, which is really just another strike move except you're running. The turnbuckle move is ridiculously hard to pull off. You're supposed to just press B near the turnbuckle, but getting it to work is another story altogether. I don't even know how the hell I get it to work. I just mash buttons, focusing mainly on B, and eventually I get up there. That should be a red flag right there on how these controls work, or how they don't work is more like it. Pinning your opponent is a bitch too, because for one thing, each wrestler has their own specific button combination to go for a pin, so you'll have to remember each one. And secondly, the controls aren't very responsive, so you could find yourself knocking your opponent down over and over again until you finally get it right. There's not much strategy to the game. All you do really is mash buttons, punch and kick the whole time, once in a while throwing in a body slam. Now this lack of variety in moves sounds realistic when you're talking about Hulk Hogan, but come on, you had DiBiase and Savage in there. There really could have been more moves. The very little strategy that does take place involves managing your health. If you stay still, your health will increase, but that just gives your opponent time to get their health back too, so there's really not a whole lot of reason to bother with that. But there are special icons that occasionally float by the top half of the ring that give you health. Each wrestler has their own specific icon, and they can only pick up their own, not their opponent's. The matches themselves have a very awkward feel and look to them, and most of that problem lies in the bad controls. It also sucks that they don't let you out of the ring, but that's the least of your worries. I imagine how bad the combat outside of the ring would have been when looking at how bad the inside combat is. Aside from the average graphics, I would say that another thing that isn't too bad about this game is the sound. They did a pretty good job with the renditions of the wrestlers' theme songs that play back during the match, but that really doesn't make up for the negatives at all. There'd be a few more wrestling games released on the NES, some of them WWF licensed and some of them were not. I'd have to say that WWF Wrestlemania belongs on the bottom echelon of these NES grapplers. I'd recommend watching any match with Uncle Elmer in it before I recommend this game. No, let's not say things we can't take back. So that pretty much wraps up this edition of Aqualung's Game Reviews. See you next time.